In the front page of the Times, it has this quote: "A team of administration lawyers concluded in a March 2000 legal memorandum that President Bush was not bound either by international treaty prohibiting torture or by federal anti-torture law because he has the authority as Commander-in-Chief to approve any techniques needed to protect the nation's security." Do you agree with that conclusion?
Senator Kennedy, I'm not going to try and issue hypothetical.
I'm not asking hypothetical. This is a memoranda that again was referred today in the Post, August 2002. Justice Department advised the White House that torturing al-Qaeda terrorists in captivity abroad may be justified and that international laws against torture may be unconstitutional if applied to interrogations. Do you agree with that?
The Military Commissions Act of 2006 is one of the most important pieces of legislation in the war on terror. This bill will allow the Central Intelligence Agency to continue its program for questioning key terrorist leaders and operatives like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man believed to be the mastermind of the September the 11th, 2001 attacks on our country. This program has been one of the most successful intelligence efforts in American history. It has helped prevent attacks on our country. And the bill I signed today will ensure that we can continue using this vital tool to protect the American people for years to come.
The time is 1949. The place, the Palace of Nations, Geneva, Switzerland. Here, 59 nations have met to create and set up an improved set of rules to provide a greater measure of protection for prisoners of war, wounded prisoners, non-combatant military personnel, and civilians not engaged in hostilities. Rules that have since been adopted by almost all nations of the world.
If you look at the history of the use of that technique, used by the Khmer Rouge, used in the Inquisition, used by the Japanese and prosecuted by us as war crimes, we prosecuted our own soldiers for using it in Vietnam. I agree with you, Mr. Chairman, waterboarding is torture.
If waterboarding is torture, torture is not constitutional.
I believe that waterboarding was torture, and I think that whatever legal rationales were used, it was a mistake.
Well, where in the Constitution is torture barred?
It's barred by the 5th, the 14th, and the 8th Amendments. The 5th and the 14th Amendments bar conduct that shocks the conscience.
The President instructed us that nothing we would do would be outside of our obligations, legal obligations, under the Convention Against Torture. So that's, and by the way, I didn't authorize anything. I conveyed the authorization of the administration to the agency that they had policy authorization subject to the Justice Department's clearance.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Is waterboarding torture?
And I just said